Cosmic Connection. I'm your host, Cosmo. This is my television show, The Cosmic Connection, where we deal seriously with the UFO phenomenon. We don't sugarcoat it. We're going to give you what I think, my personal opinion, Cosmo. I've been studying this since 1989 and before. What I think you should know about the world of ufology as it exists in 2014, and I have since 1989. So here we go. What's on the agenda today? Well, first of all, it's a beautiful day in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's February 9th. It's 12 o'clock, and we got a beautiful blue sky. Oh, you see the chemtrails? Look at that. There's them chemtrails everybody's talking about. Do I believe in chemtrails? No. Looks like a contrail to some jet planes to me. What a coincidence. We've got chemtrails over Las Vegas, Nevada on the Cosmic Connection. That is a first. Didn't even know that. Just setting up for that perfect palm tree there. Show you folks back east that there is some good weather coming your way. Hope you're doing all right. Stay warm. Help your neighbors out. Let's go over the UFO information for this week. I'd like to thank all of you for watching these programs that I've put up on youtube.com/TV UFO. Unbelievable. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy them. I wonder every now and then if what it is that you're into. I've got three bodies of information to disseminate to you today, and I'm not sure what you guys are into. I've been doing they saw a light, it was over the hill, it zipped this way, it was that way, it blinked red and green, and it was gone, and that was in, state and county. Well, you do enough of those for a while, and you wonder, just how interested people are when here I have my friend Kevin Randall just slamming the late Philip Corso to the wall, pinning him in the corner, and counting him out. A long rant and rave of my good friend Kevin Randall over the late Philip Corso, which is great. It's the day after Roswell again and again and again. So quote Mr. Kevin Randall. Then I got a killer story. Oh, pardon the pun on that. Liquidation of the UFO investigators. And people want to know why I call myself Cosmo. And then we've got another story. India's temple tomb reveals ancient UFO. Now these are long tales, and they're great. They're awesome tales. But I don't know what you people are into. So you're going to have to let me know. Send me an email at ufoshow@outlook.com. That's the brand new email for the Cosmic Connection. UFOTVshow@hotmail.com. Died after 19, 17, 18, 19 years having that since the internet was around. Have no idea why that's gone. Maybe I got hacked. I don't know. But anyway, that's fine. So our new email address, if you want to contact me, is ufoshow@hotmail.com. We're broadcasting from Las Vegas, Nevada. And let's begin the reports. Here's one from Linda Howell. I like this one. This is Wanacue, New Jersey. Aerial disc beam and entity of 1966-67. Like to give you folks a little history of the sightings of the world of here on Cosmic Connection. 48 years ago on January 11th, 1966, in Wanacue, New Jersey, 32 miles northwest of New York City, the mayor, police, security guards, and other eyewitnesses watched an aerial disc above the frozen Wanacue Reservoir emit a beam of nearly opaque light that melted a circle in the ice. The photograph that you're looking at here above is allegedly one taken that escaped confiscation by military that quickly took over the reservoir and warned witnesses to never talk about the craft and beam above the cloud. Love it. All right, now here's an interesting fellow. This is January 30th, 2014. A strange humanoid encountered in Canada garage. Justin Bieber wasn't there. He was in Florida or New York watching the Super Bowl. Then the strange creature came at me very rapidly like it was flying. In 3 seconds, I was face to face with it. This is written by Alan J. Randall, resident of Quebec, Canada. This is a tall, blue-colored humanoid with skull cap and blue eyes that had green centers, encountered in the garage 55 miles northwest of Montreal, Quebec, Canada, by homeowner, again, Howard Randall in St. Adolphe Howard. Anyway, this is an interesting fellow. We haven't seen one of these guys in a while. They drew a picture of it. This is good stuff. 80s and 90s, people were seeing aliens and having visitations, and every now and then in a UFO magazine, you'd see a picture of somebody just coming across an alien. Here's one for 2014. Thought you might like that. Skull cap, different colored eyes. That's kind of new from the regular entities that normally are used to seeing by eyewitnesses. Once again, I'd like to thank you folks for tuning in to the Cosmic Connection here on YouTube.com. TV UFO channel that I own here on YouTube. It's been up for quite a while, and you guys have been watching the last 3 programs that I've recorded this way and put out. I thought I'd start doing the Cosmic Connection in some form. Like I did for 10 years up in Portland, Oregon. So this is about as live as I can get. We have a cylinder taken over Santa Rosa, California on January 30th, 2014. It was reported on Saturday, the 1st of February, 2014. The shape is a cigar, definitely a cylinder. Source MUFON picture identification helped me out, the person says. I am uploading a picture I found on my camera. I didn't see or hear anything until I downloaded my photos from the moonshots I took tonight. 13114, sender states, pretty cool. Well, yes, it is. This is the cylinder. Like so many cylinders seen. When you're the one that's seeing it, it's pretty amazing. I've never seen I haven't seen a cylinder. I've seen the Triangle Craft in Fallon, Nevada. I haven't seen a cylinder, and this is a magnificent cylinder. And that's over Santa Rosa, California, in the United States of America. Also, we get reports from my source, and it could be your source too. It's Filer's Files. George Filer is the disseminator of the information that he gathers and sends out to people free of charge in his newsletter once a week. He likes donations, so help him out if you can. He does it all on his own. That's George Filer III, Filer's Files. George Filer, that's F-I-L-E-R. According to George Filer, we have unidentified aerial phenomenon sightings were reported over Alaska, Arizona, California, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Nevada, Ohio, Oregon, Puerto Rico, and Virginia. Sightings of UFOs were also reported in Australia, Bahamas, Canada, Chile, Japan, New Zealand, and England, and Wales in the United Kingdom. As you well know, we showed last week the video of the Japan sighting. Very, very cool video. And worldwide UFO sightings. Oh, let's go locally first. United States of America. Virginia, flying object. A gentleman writes, his name's Tom Waters, he put his name down. This is just to share with you the image that Robert Morningstar was able to pull out of the image I sent you on January 30th, 2014. I'm amazed that he can enlarge the thing and still retain shape that is not all pixels. One person has suggested that this might be a drone. So thank you again, Robert Morningstar, Tom Waters. Thanks again, MUFON CMS. A worldwide UFO sightings, we have the Bahamas orb, NASA. On my 50th birthday, on January 29th, 2014, I went out to take a picture of the sunrise. Only after I got home did I notice the orb above cloud, thanks to MUFON CMS. A lot of these pictures are seen after the witness or the photographer gets home and downloads their pictures. A lot would say out there, selective viewing. A lot would say that it wasn't there, and then that the camera picks up the image. I have no idea. Ufology is so strange and weird. I've stopped trying to figure it out. That's what's going on with that. Be aware of it. If you take a photograph and then come back, always check your pictures if you take pictures of sky for absolutely no reason at all, like we are today. That's kind of funny. We'll have to run this one back and see what we got. I see another chemtrail being made, or is that just People going home from Las Vegas, penniless. Let's see here. All right, now we got your choice. Obviously, we're not live on the air, so I can't take calls. So you don't have a choice. We've got Philip Corso and The Day After Roswell again. That's Kevin Randall, the great author. The Truth About the UFO Crash at Roswell, 1994 printing, great book. Jumping all over Philip Corso. Kevin Randall is the advocate for Roswell. He wants to make sure everything is just lined in a row and perfect for that story, because it happened. For you skeptics out there, we have to keep our ducks in a row so you don't shoot them down from all the hard work that's been done. Bill Nye. People have interviewed the first-hand witnesses, the second-hand witnesses, gone and done the investigations, did more than just come on Larry King's show and say, yeah, Roswell didn't happen because I say so. Bill Nye. James Ober. We've got a lengthy report on liquidation of UFO investigators. Number 9, Tomb of the UFO. Tomb reveals ancient UFO. That's in India. The India's Temple. Since that's a relatively short one, let's go with that one. That's pretty cool. India's Temple Tomb reveals ancient UFO. In the far south of India, opposite the island of Sri Lanka, in the state of Kerala, sits an ancient mysterious temple containing 6 vaults that have been the subject of deep controversy. Is considered one of the wonders of the world and a temple guarded in secrecy. The vaults contained inside have been protected by priests and lay within the 20-foot thick stone foundations of the main shrine. Many of the vaults have not been opened for over thousands of years. This week, under Kerala High Court authority, opening the vaults took place under the eyes of government authorities and a historical journalist from Austria. One vault in particular, labeled B, constructed in the early 6th century, has no written or oral record of ever being opened. Under military security, we opened all the vaults except B, advised Shital Ramandip, spokesperson for the royal family of Trivandrum. We are not happy that the high courts are allowing this. It is not advised to open Vault B. It will insult and anger Lord Vishnu. What was found in the vaults labeled A, C, D, E, and F were a vast collection of gold coins, silver jewelry, gold statues studded with precious gems, and vast amounts of other items of phenomenal monetary and historical value. Vault B was left for last. When it came to opening the Vault B, it had been sealed shut with a heavy solid cast iron door without a latch. Under the protests of the royal family and the priests, entry was gained through force, and what was found inside has the temple's authorities demanding the removal of all visitors, military, and government officials. According to Australian journalist Reinhard Schmuller, inside the vault was found a dark gray, very smooth, elongated capsule with no discerning opening. Propped up against the capsule were 7 human mummified remains that showed no signs of violent death and appeared to be dressed in a thick material with the consistency of silk. The silk itself showed no signs of decay. This is my first reading of this, ladies and gentlemen. This is awesome. The object has an almost inaudible low-frequency hum. Further attempts to see inside the capsule were impossible. It was hoped that a fiber optic camera could be used to see inside, but attempts to drill a small hole into the surface proved the capsule to be impenetrable, I'll bet. Another concern is that the capsule itself has no magnetic properties. That's strange, but is warm to the touch. Photos of the craft were not available at this time. Schmuller advised this vault had no treasures, and the walls of the vault have no markings. Drawings are script. The capsule is very large, about 30 meters by 10 meters by 8 meters. Schmuller went on to state that the perfectly preserved mummified remains of the 7 people all had blonde hair and very fair complexions. It was odd, claims Smuller. In all the years I have covered historical findings, I have never seen mummified remains with fair complexions. Authorities are not speculating as to what the unidentified object is inside Vault B, but Smuller was quick to point out that ancient Hindu art dating back to the 4th century BCE depicts a similar object in the skies above the temples. Yeah, I wonder if that's the Vimana. Yeah, the Vimana. The object is so strange looking, it just does not seem to be something that man made, especially by ancient society, concluded Smuller. Well, people, let's keep on the eye out for photographs from Vault B. That was awesome. That's the first time I read that. I just saw the title and said that might be good. That's what you do when you own your own show, people. You can edit while you're live. Liquidation of UFO investigators. This is huge. This is many pages. What am I going to give you here? Do you know about Dorothy Kilgallen, ladies and gentlemen? She was a guest on the What's My Line show a lot. Famous lady from the 50s. Here she is. Yeah, Dorothy Kilgallen. She's in this. And what would she be doing in Liquidation of the UFO Investigators by Professor G. Cope Schillhorn, April 12th, 2005. Let's read the heading here. Death by gunshot to the head. Death by probable poisoning. Death by probable strangulation. Deaths possibly by implantation of deadly viruses. Now, you people don't know, I'm sure, because you haven't been with the Cosmic Connection that long here on YouTube, but the Cosmic Connection's host for 10 years, Dennis, knew Ron Rummel and Phil Schneider. Are you listening? Okay. Phil Schneider never did any of this. He's got a cult following like the idiot Bill Cooper. Bill Cooper's dead, so he can't defend himself. I'll still call him an idiot because I answered the phone at Billy Goodman Happening when he would get drunk and Billy would let him on the air and Bill Cooper would go off and make all kinds of rants and say things that he shouldn't have been saying and making up tales about, he took from Mr. Hansen or John Lear the video of the driver shooting Kennedy. Hogwash. Anyway, Ron Rummel was a good guy. Dennis said he was a good, quiet kid. And Phil Schneider, he never went to the firefight and witnessed and stole secret documents out of Dulce. But anyway, I do have a connection with these people. I know the first-hand witness that knew these people. I know the gentleman that showed Phil Schneider George Knapp's best UFO evidence, some video of Bill Cooper, and that's where that's where Phil Schneider got the idea of being who you people laud, overlord, and bow to, the most fantastic ufologist on the planet. All right? All right. Phil Schneider is hogwash. Death by probable strangulation, deaths possibly by implantation of deadly virus. No one lives. Yet the recent suspicious deaths of UFO investigators, Phil Schneider, Ron Johnson, Con Routine, Ann Livingston, and Carla Turner, as well as the deaths of a host of researchers in the past, only seem to add emphasis to a reality with which many of the more aware ufologists are now quite familiar. Not only is UFO research potentially dangerous, but the lifespan of the average serious investigator falls far short of the national average. Well, I'm glad I'm not a serious investigator. Mysterious and suspicious deaths among UFO investigators are nothing new. In 1971, the well-known author and researcher Otto Binder wrote an article for Sega Magazine's special UFO report titled Liquidation of the UFO Investigators. Binder had researched the deaths of no less than 137 flying saucer researchers, writers, scientists, and witnesses who had died in the previous 10 years, many under the most mysterious circumstances. The late astronomer Dr. M.K. Jessup was the first to reveal details of the Philadelphia experiment. He died a few months later. Let's just leave it there. There's Phil Schneider. We'll cover this again, or remind me if I forget and I miss on the next show. It's just too thick. It's too good. Oh, I said about Dorothy Kilgallen. All right. Dorothy Kilgallen was the most famous syndicated woman journalist of her day, stationed in England in 1954-55 and privy to the highest levels of English society and its secrets. She wired two unusual dispatches which may have contributed to her death. The first, sent in February 1954, mentioned a special hush-hush meeting of the world's military heads, scheduled to take place the following summer. The 1955 dispatch, which barely preceded her death from an alleged overdose of sleeping pills and alcohol, a la Marilyn Monroe, quoted an unnamed British official of cabinet rank. We believe on the basis of our inquiry thus far that saucers were staffed by small men, probably under 4 feet tall. It's frightening, but there is no denying the flying saucers come from another planet. Whatever the source, rumored to be the Earl of Maltabon. Now, I like this guy. This kind of leak in the atmosphere of the mid-1950s was an unacceptable leak. It is well to recall that the secret CIA-orchestrated Robinson panel had met in 1953 and issued the Robinson Report. Briefly summarized, this document and the attitudes reflected there represented a new hardline attitude to covering up all significant UFO phenomenon. The year 1953 and the meeting of the Robertson panel truly initiated the UFO cover-up as we know it today, with a few extra dollops having been added. Did Dorothy Kilgallen actually commit accidental suicide? There appears to be an excellent chance she had help. Anyway, like I said, this is liquidation of the UFO investigators, hence Cosmo. Thought about that 6 months before I ever did my first show. Learned of this UFOs is a dangerous game by reading one of 100 books before I did my first show. I wanted to get up to speed on the subject. And number two, after being with the Billy Goodman Happening for 2 years and seeing what was going on there in 1989, 1990, you get an idea that all is not right in Hollywood. The next long story I got for you. All right, we did the Indian temples. We did part of liquidation of UFO investigators. All right, Kevin Randall. Boy, where do you begin on this? All right, I'm just going to read about the first 4 or 5, maybe the first page. This is Wednesday, January 22nd, 2014. Philip Corso, and the day after Roswell again. And again, this is from my buddy. He's been on my show many, many times. Kevin D. Randall. Blogger's note. In the last few days, I have been asked about Philip Corso and his tales of seeing the Roswell bodies and of seeding alien technology into American industry. I have updated the information to reflect what we now know. This is my take on the story Corso told, and once again, I find myself attempting to explain why I don't accept what he said as real. As everyone now knows, Philip Corso burned on the Roswell UFO scene in the summer of 1997 with the publication of his book, The Day After Roswell. It was Corso's story of his involvement with the flying saucer crash at Roswell. First as an officer at Fort Riley, Kansas, and later as a staff officer in the Pentagon, the Eisenhower White House, and finally on the staff of Lieutenant General Arthur Trudeau. Corso claimed that he had been responsible under orders from Trudeau for leaking bits and pieces of alien technology to American industry for reverse engineering, duplication, and replication. There is no doubt that Corso had served as a military officer and rose to the rank of lieutenant colonel. He served in World War II and stayed on active duty until he retired and did work for Trudeau, although he did say that he had retired as a full colonel. There is no evidence to back up this claim. It was during his assignment at Fort Riley that Corso was introduced, according to him, to the alien crash at Roswell. Corso, again, according to him, was an above-average bowler, and because of his skill, was invited to participate on a Fort Riley team by then Master Sergeant Bill Brown, which is named nearly as common as John Smith for those who wish to attempt to learn more about this guy, unquote, from Kevin Randall. Corso was surprised because enlisted men weren't supposed to fraternize with officers at that time, but apparently Corso's skill was such that the Master Sergeant took a chance and breached military protocol. All right, skipping forward in the article, research into Corso's claims showed that they were firmly grounded in the UFO community. Corso had read and reviewed everything that had been printed, published on the internet, or shown in television documentaries over the last 5 or 6 years as it related to the Roswell case. That's just not enough time, Phil. There's a lot more to Roswell than just 5 or 6 years of studying. Trust me on that. There was nothing new in Corso's book except for his claim that he had seen one of the bodies at Fort Riley, and then that he was the conduit for the alien technology to American industry. For evidence, he offered nothing more than his claim it happened, and documentation offered as some sort of evidence had nothing to do with his claims. For evidence, he offered nothing more than his claim it happened, and documentation offered as some sort of evidence that had nothing to do with his claims. In fact, when Corso came into conflict with other witnesses or information that was contrary to his point of view, he retreated. He appeared on a radio program with Frank Kaufman, but at every point of disagreement, Corso deferred to Kaufman as if Kaufman was the real authority. Kaufman's tales have since been shown to be untrue, a fact which Corso should have known if he had had the inside knowledge that he claimed he had. Well, the reason Kaufman was proven to be a fraud is Schmidt and Randall went to the widow Kaufman, asked if they could go upstairs into the attic of the late Mr. Kaufman, and lo and behold, they found documentation suggesting that he had perpetrated his fraud of being the radar operator at Roswell Army's 509th Air Base in 1947. The interference of his radar equipment brought down UFO craft. Bunk, one up for the researchers. That's 1 to probably about 500, because the skeptics do win every time that they speak, and they'll tell you that. He was quick to suggest that his information might not have been the best. In other cases, it seemed to have been the worst. The caption over a photograph in his book read, "Lieutenant Colonel Corso was never able to confirm the veracity of the following purported UFO surveillance photos, which were in Army intelligence files as support for material for the R&D project to harvest the Roswell alien technology for military purposes." The first of these pictures is of a well-known hoax. The photographer, Guy B. Marquand Jr., told various UFO researchers, as well as the editors of Look, that he was sorry, but it was a hoax. He had been young and foolish and thought it was a great joke. It would seem that if Corso was on the inside, as he claimed, he would have been aware that this particular UFO photograph was faked. Given the information available, given the mistakes in Corso's book, and given his inflation of his own importance during his military career, it seems that the logical conclusion is that Corso's claims are of little value. They added nothing to what was already known and certainly have detracted from the whole of the Roswell case. When his claims break apart, those who knew little about Roswell became convinced that the whole case is built on structures similar to those built by Corso. So far from the truth. Read a book. Don't believe a word that this guy Cosmo is telling you. Read a book about the Roswell incident. Come to your own conclusions. There's something going on. Know the names. Kevin Randall, Don Schmidt. It's a doozy of a story. Thanks to George Fowler and Fowler's Files. Kingman, Arizona. My partner and I were returning to Las Vegas after a weekend rock climbing trip on January 19th, 2014. We followed I-40W west from Flagstaff, Arizona, and had an uneventful but gorgeous drive through western Arizona. Sometime after sunset and near Route 93, my high beams caught a gray flying creature flapping large wings and ascending quickly out of view. I know of no native Northern American birds that would have as much surface area as this did. It followed an upward directional trajectory and appeared to be featherless and tailed. I asked my partner if she had seen something, to which responded, "You saw that too?" I asked her what she had seen without telling her what I had. She also described a featherless, gray-skinned, pterodactyl-like creature with a very long tail flying quickly upwards. We had been joking about seeing a UFO since we saw UFO-themed places on our way out. Neither of us could explain without sounding overhyped on the area's vibrant attractions. Again, thanks to MUFON, CMS, and the great Filer Files. I believe this is from number 6. Get it at your local internet newsstand. And that's at Filer Files. Crop circles, people, crop circles, they're not over. The circle makers didn't get the memo. We've got a frozen one. We've got the first January crop circle 2014 in the Northern Hemisphere in frozen grasses has been reported by Dutch medium Robert van den Broek on January 29th, 2014. Keep looking to the skies, America. You've been had.